We're still here at the Hybrid Fitness Stadium after Merstham go marching on in the FA Cup. 2-1 winners against Erith Town today. Made a little bit of hard work of it, but we're in the hat for the next round, and it's a first season appearance on Merstham TV for the boss, Jamie Decruz. Jamie, it's good to see you. You brought the summer holiday weather back with you?
Yep, straight from Turkey. Yeah, nice day, but might have affected our energy levels today. But yeah, happy to win and happy to be back. Happy to be back with you and the main man up there. So,
shout out for Bernie. Doesn't happen too often. Now, listen. Obviously, the result must have been pleasing today. But what are your takeaways from the afternoon as a whole?
Just thought it was a really flat game from both teams, and that's not me being disrespectful to Erith. I just found the game to be really flat. I thought the ground was flat. I thought the pre-match build-up was flat. I don't know. We can't put our finger on it. I don't know if the fact we wasn't ruthless enough with our finishing within the first 20 minutes. I don't think it's unfair to say half hour in we could have been 3 or 4-0 up. I don't know if that then adds to maybe a little bit of anxiety around the ground, and you kind of don't want to ruin those opportunities. But yeah, I found the whole day a little bit flat, and yeah, it may have shown out there. I felt it may have shown. I think I've worked probably harder than some of those lads out there today on this sideline, because I felt I was pacing up and down, trying to get some sort of enthusiasm into them. I don't think this group will never not work hard, ever. They won't ever not work hard. I just felt sometimes today we weren't running as hard as we normally did. We weren't making runs off the ball as well as we normally do. We wasn't as dynamic as we were when we pressed, and just little moments like that. But listen, that's just me being super critical. We won the game, and we're in the next round.
I think a lot of the chatter around the ground after the game, a lot of people said the first half an hour we were the only team in it. Perhaps we should have been 2 or 3 up by that point. Is that kind of what you're alluding to, that we could have put the game to bed before they even scored?
Yeah, and I think if you do that, then suddenly the game becomes potentially, I'm not saying another weak result or performance, but I mean, goals win games, goals influence the course of games. If we're 3-0 up after half hour, then we move the ball well, players become confident, their chests are up, we don't lose the ball. We avoid unneeded turnovers, and suddenly we're in control of the tempo of the game. When it remains 1-0, just before half time, they score 1-1. Suddenly you're still in the game, regardless of how many opportunities you start creating in the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You're still in the game at half time. And speaking to one of their coaches at half time, he said, we can't believe we're in at 1-1. And yeah, I'm glad we've found the way, and that's what we've done again. We found a way. The best teams done it last year. The best teams do it every year. They find a way even when they're not at their best. Yeah. But of course, we strive to be as complete, or as close to complete as we can.
And also, I mean, again, no disrespect to Erith, but it was a massive slice of luck to get their goal. Being so dominant for that longer period, it only takes a moment like that, and a game can change, can't it?
Yeah, I think it takes the wind out of our sail. AJ's just got back in as we've asked him to do. He's run 40 yards to narrow in, and he's put probably a bit of a tired leg out. It's deflected. The spins got in between Dragey and Tiles. I mean, they're one-off balls, but their striker's alert. He's nicked in. He's scored, and out of nothing. They probably have only been in our box twice prior to that. Probably only had 1 shot on target prior to that, and suddenly they're in the game 1-1 at half time. But that's football. We know that, and we, at times we were that side last season, so we know both sides of the coin. We just got to do more to avoid getting in those positions by being more ruthless.
And it's lovely to be in the hat for the next round, isn't it? Especially for the club as well. I mean, the prize money isn't the mega millions it is later on in the competition, but every penny counts. Can we keep this cup run going for as long as we can?
That's the aim. You take every game as it comes. We don't know who we've got next game, but it could be anyone from a side in step 5, a side similar to us in step 4. So, you never know who you might get, and obviously above. But I think for us, we take every game, and whether we're playing higher opposition of our level, or lower opposition, we know we're always going to give 100%. So.
Now, I remember a lot of our conversations last season. You said you were really looking forward to pre-season, getting one under your belt, rebuilding the squad. How do you feel like that went? Obviously, the results were mostly positive, and you've brought in some fresh faces as well. Yeah,
pre-season was really, really good. We only lost 1 game against Step 3 Oppo, and it was a great game. It was a good game, both teams. Apart from that, we drew a few many games, but we weren't too fussed with results early doors. It was more the performances which we were happy with. Again, maybe our only critique of pre-season early doors is we weren't ruthless enough, and we thought we kind of put that to bed after a week, but maybe we've got to work harder in that area. But as a team, the difference between this year and last year, barring the fitness side and those elements, is that we're now finding other ways to win games. Even when we're not at our best, even when other teams are doing maybe what we don't want them to do, or maybe how we can influence what they do, we're still finding ways to win games. And actually, the first game week was all about the forward players and those moments of individual quality and some of the football. It was brilliant. And you know, the amount of times I've watched it on Twitter, and the FA Cup's Twitter has been brilliant to watch. The last 2 weeks have been about defenders, goalkeeper, how good our shape's been without the ball. Again, how many opportunities have Erith had today? They've had the shot from distance, Tulf's made a good save with. They've scored. Maybe another shot somewhere in there. But the same with Stenning last week. We're really, really eliminating opportunities from other teams where, let's be fair, last year teams were having loads of opportunities, and then or whoever was there were making some great saves and we were defending well. But I feel like we're more assured this year, and I feel like our core's stronger. We've brought in some real entertaining players in the wide boys, and I think they've done well again today. So yeah, we're definitely in a better position.
From that point of view, in terms of the defence, bringing in a keeper of Rob Tolfrey's experience is obviously a real game changer. What's he like having what's it like having him in the dressing room?
He's brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I knew he would be anyway, but he's brilliant. And you know, training on Tuesday, he doesn't feel quite to his normal fitness levels. He goes for a 20-minute run on his own, absolutely fine. Like, you know, puts it in. Great trainer. Great leader, calming influence, doesn't take any prisoners in terms of if he feels someone needs to be told, but does it in the right way. And yeah, he's been fantastic. His leadership, you know, it's different. This would be different for Tulfs. You know, he's at King Solomons for such a long time. He's come to a club where he knows me and a few of the boys, but in general, he's still probably getting to know the club, and I know he really enjoys it. So yeah, I think I think he's a great signing. I think he's what we need in terms of that leadership. And again, he's made a few crucial saves today. And in the forward positions as well, you've already alluded to the fact that they've been individual moments of brilliance. But I also quite like the fact that people like Olu and Aidan, and Aaron as well, they work really hard off the ball. I mean, Aidan in the first game, he got a hat-trick, but the geezer was closing down defenders inside his own half at times as well. Is that the sort of attitude that you wanted to bring in? Yeah, and I think if you speak to AJ, Olu, they say it's the hardest they've ever been working. I think, you know, maybe it's the way we play in terms of that demand on them, but you know, we don't want players getting away with not doing their running. Everyone's important to us without the ball, and of course with the ball. And I look at Aidan Brown and the work rate he's putting in. Massive for him, and he knows that, and he's got more to come. I felt for AJ, he was flagging me to change him because he was down our side for the first 45 and we were on him non-stop, but we need him to be, and at times it showed how good he was around both boxes. Olu's the same. So yeah, I mean, whoever plays for us in those wide areas has to work hard. I don't think you can get away with not no more. And as competent as our two fullbacks are defensively, and they're great, Jude and Kinder, and obviously Harry Murphy, they're brilliant. Still having that security in front of you always helps.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got a new signing in this week as well. Someone with a bit of pedigree, to be fair. Aston Villa professional player, represented England at under 18 level, etc. Jaden Barber. How on earth did you get him down here?
Yeah, I mean, he got in contact. He's a local lad. I think he just wants to get playing again. I think he's been out of the game for a little while now since leaving Villa, probably 6 months now, and probably understands where he's at in terms of, you know, he's working now. He's back at home, so he knows he can't sit around doing nothing all day. And I think fair play to the lad. He's been proactive. He's, you know, he lives local. He's got in contact. He's come down. He's done really well in training. We wasn't in the market to sign anyone. You know, the fact it's almost a little bit of fate. He's come in, he's done really well. The boys have been wowed by him at times. He's shown some great bits of moments, and yeah, we are really excited about him. It's just, you know, making sure we're patient with him. Even right at the end, maybe a little naive, putting across him when we try to keep the ball. The touches prior to that were magical, weren't they? But yeah, bit of naivety, and I don't blame him. But you know, sometimes you got to accommodate. You're a non-league player now, so you know you've got to find the different side of the game, and actually it's only going to make him a better player. And don't be surprised that when he starts playing, he gets attention and he moves on fairly quickly because he's got that ability. I think what we can do is trying to help him get back to where he wants to be and teach him a bit of a different side of the game.
Yeah, having said that, actually, I laughed because we were starting to take the ball into the corner sort of 85, 86 minutes at that point already. And then when he came on in added time, it was a great bit of skill. And obviously, and he looked up, and I'm sure Corey was willing to put it into the box, etc. But yeah, just that little bit of game management, maybe.
Yeah, and like, how could you blame him? He's so keen to impress and go on and do well. And yeah, a little bit naive, but that's why we're here to teach him. And you know, it never led to anything. They didn't even create a chance from it. So there's nothing to be moaned at for. I just think they're the moments you learn playing this level. There's some great players playing at this level, players who have played higher and come down, and vice versa. And I think, this level is honest, it's true, and it will mature you quite quickly. And I think people forget how young our side is. I know Tulse and Dragey doubled the average age, but I hope they see that. We've got a real youthful, young side who are still learning. But what we've got now is that balance between experience and young, and hopefully as a group we can go and have a good year.
Yeah, I think that little triangle, now you've mentioned it, of like Tulse, Gunner and Dragey together, that's a real core to have at the back there, isn't it? I mean, Gunner's goal again today as well. Where's he picked that out from?
Funny you say that. I alluded to it on the pitch at the end. I said how good that triangle's been, and yeah, spot on. I think great goal from Gunner. We know he's got that. He's scored a few of those over the years, so we know he can do that. Great finish, to be fair to him, and was also got the assist for the penalty, the ball in behind for Olu. But defensively, I thought, against two up top who worked really, really hard and were physical. I mean, Dragey and Gunner at times look a cut above in terms of their understanding and their leadership. And we still have moments, like any team, we're no different. Like, we still have moments, but there was times where they took the sting out of the game. Headers back to Tulse, or hooking it in the right areas. They recognised when maybe the game needed to slow down a little bit, and the opposite, they also know when to speed the game up and get people working. So yeah, a real good core, that triangle. So
yeah, nice. Just one final question: was there a penalty shootout competition in pre-season to see who was going to be the taker?
No, there wasn't. But Greenwood used to beg me last year, and I said no. And I can't remember the first game. I'm going to say, was it Bedfont? It might have been Ascot. We've scored 6 in pre-season and now in the first 3 games. But he took the first one. It was fairly competent. Took the second one. It was okay. So now we're thinking, all right, maybe he's on him, and yeah, he's made it his own. And fair play to him. I mean, I'm really confident when Greenwood goes up. Really, really confident as a lad as well, because he's a calming influence, even to me at times. He's above his years or beyond his years. Charlie, he's young in terms of age, but really, really mature. And I feel that shows in his game. But also, those moments there, he doesn't panic, does he? They're calm, they're cool, they're collective. I don't think anyone doubts him, and fair play. He's made it his own, and thankfully for us, he's not on a goal bonus. So happy days.
Who's second in line?
No comment.
Boss, pleasure as always. All right, no worries. March.